Welcome back, guys, to a full, well, more than full, over 20 minutes of time-lapse coming your way. And jumping straight in, I'm working on this fountain. Do you remember me telling you that I wanted to put like quite a few of these fountains in? Well, I wanted to put them in as kind of freestanding fountains. So what I'm doing here is kind of like working on that idea and trying to come up with a fountain that I could just like put on its own in various places around the park. And like as I started to put together, I was like, yeah, you know, it's a bit too bare the way it is. It kind of needs something. So I started playing around with these bushes, and I think like when it's done, I hope you'll agree with me. It kind of works. Although it's when I was doing it, and every time I look at it, those plants, they look like Beatles haircuts. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why I think that, but I do. But the fountains were just going like straight up around it, which is okay. But I decided to try moving them in a bit closer and angling them a little bit so that it's spraying out like that. And I think that really worked. That really worked. Now, this episode, let me tell you, we make some real progress in this episode in terms of kind of cleaning things up and finishing things off. Oh, and I've got some curved staircases for you. Curved staircases coming up, and they worked really well. And I was doing it off the cuff, but they worked really well. Okay, so I'm just putting them like back up to the height that I want them. And look, I think that looks so much better. Now, I did listen to you guys. I listened to the comments in the last one, on the last video, and you guys were saying, yeah, two definitely looks better. But, yeah, it's going to be slightly different. And you'll kind of see why I've taken it out. I've taken the water out a little bit further than it kind of should, because that fountain is only sticking out like one tile, but I've taken the water back 2 tiles. Well, why did I create that extra space? Well, you're about to see. I'm just kind of like dressing these walls up and stuff at the moment, just trying to get it to all fit together. It's amazing when you make even like a relatively small change, what a big impact that can have. But I have to say, messing around with these walls and whatever, it is kind of fun. I am having a ball doing this. It's really good fun. And I know that this is only like the perimeter, but I think it's kind of so important to the build as a whole. Because it first of all, it creates like a framework for the main building to sit inside and all the rides and stuff. But it's that initial view when you walk into the park. And I think having... So here, there we go. There's the fountain. We'll take a look at that at the end in like normal speed. Oh, it's kind of beautiful, guys. Oh, a little tip for you. If you're putting paths in and you want them to be like straight and square and whatever, put the corners in first and then link them up, and you'll find it works so much easier. And I even trimmed all the ends so it's all nice and neat. How about that? I think it looks really effective. And the more that I put in these red paths, I don't know, it gives it kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like kind of majestic, kind of a, I'm getting like a Palace of Versailles feel from this place. Sort of even more than the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, but hopefully we'll change that ultimately, and we'll get more of the Hanging Gardens kind of feel when we've got some water coming down off the buildings and stuff like that. I think it'll come together. So what was I talking about? I was talking about something important. Oh, well, it doesn't matter because this is kind of my favourite bit. I didn't know what I was going to do here, and I did think about having just some of those white stairs going up, but I really wanted to have some curved stairs going up, and you'll see how this kind of comes together. And seriously, I could just now. Originally, I was thinking of going like having a semicircle going up to that top level, but in the end, I decided to go with this design, which and it took some getting it to actually work. The paths still, I don't know. You still have to play around a hell of a lot with the paths to get them to do exactly what you want, but a bit of perseverance. And you can make it happen. Now, that is the design for the path itself. But we're not done with that little area. So I'm just hooking them up, and I've got to do the one on the other side. But you'll see that I'm gonna like dress it up and enclose it in a proper little walled area. And I think it turns out really nice. So I'm kind of looking forward to your comments to see if you like it as much as I do. And that hammer swing, by the way, that hammer swing isn't staying where it is now, because it suddenly struck me when I was like doing this, and you'll see the moment when I suddenly look at it and go, I've got a better idea, and yeah. I change it. Oh, this bridge needs to be. Oh, I've already changed the bridge. Oh, is this where I'm going to suddenly realise about the? No, this is me figuring out. Oh, this is it. So I'm putting in the kind of the bridge over the top, and then it was like, well, it does need to be like dressed up. How on earth can I? Like, should I just mess around with the terrain a bit, or like how should I do it? And I eventually decided that it's probably going to be best having like a nice clean white background with some foliage on it. Oh, here you go. This is me. I decided to put the pirate ship, because if you think about it, what should be on the lake? The ship. Isn't that kind of... I thought that was a bit of a brainwave. What do you think? I thought putting the pirate ship on the lake, what a great idea. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to dress that lake up. It needs to be dressed up a bit. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do to it, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. And then I just put the hammer swing at the back, because the hammer swing's kind of a tall ride. So I think the park looks better balanced with the ship at the front and that at the back. So now we've got to duplicate that fountain area, and I was initially thinking, oh my god, this is going to be really, really hard. But it turned out to be really, really easy in the end. When I figured out like kind of what section I needed to remove, and then what section I needed to then obviously duplicate, it all turned out to be like fairly straightforward. So this actually happens pretty quick. Now, while I'm doing that, I'll tell you about kind of like plans for the future. Now, at the end of this video, after the time lapse, we'll take a little bit of a look around the park, and I'll tell you a few things about what I'm planning for the underworld. So I won't spoil that now, but the next episode we're going to be back working on the underworld again. And seriously, I can't wait to get back down there and finish off that whole volcanic hellmouth mountain, because I just think in the last episode, well, no, not the last episode, the one before, we just got the ideas, and it's just a case of putting them in place now, and I think the place is going to look really good. But I have got a surprise for you about something that's going in down there, and should be fun. Should be fun. But I'll tell you about that later. So here we go. I'm kind of figuring out what needs to go in, and boom, it just plops in just like that. And there's virtually nothing to do. I do need to put the plants and and the little pillars in the corners and stuff like that. But I actually did that after I finished this video. I did it offline. Oh no, not after I finished the video. I did it after I finished the time-lapse stuff, just before I recorded the end bit. So so you will get to see it like completely finished with all the little corner bits in place and everything done. Now here, I wanted to see what it looks like when the terrain's actually put in place, and I learned a valuable lesson here, because around here, no problem. Just like a couple of clicks just to pull the terrain up, looks great. Works very nicely, no problems, no issues, except where the path is. Now you'll notice that I haven't got the terrain lock, the scenery lock on, right? So it's not the scenery lock, it's just the fact that you can't bring terrain. See here, I'm trying to bring it up, can't bring the terrain up. You cannot bring the terrain close to a path. So I'm actually going to have to, like on the other side, take the paths out and redo the terrain, and then put the paths back in again. But putting the paths back in is actually really quick, so it's kind of not too much of a problem. Oh well, you see, I say that, but then I ended up messing around with that for a little bit, just trying to get all the corners nice and neat and everything. But once you've figured it out, it does kind of like go in pretty quickly. I just love how these red paths look. They're so, like, if you sharpen up the corners, it just looks so effective, and I love the red. The red, white and blue really seems to work. Now here I'm getting to work on this bit, and I'm totally winging it. I was like, how can I kind of like create a little, you know, a little area that would kind of work for this staircase? And I thought, yeah, you know, like if I put some kind of white walls in and just to, like, create a surround. Now obviously this has got to be dressed up, so there's going to be foliage on the walls and all that kind of stuff, and I'm probably going to like start putting like actual things on the walls as well. So it's not going to be, the whole place isn't going to just be greenery and stuff. There's going to be, I don't know, I'll be putting in kind of little bits and pieces around the place, because as the build goes on, I think you'll see that it's going to get kind of more and more individualized in individual areas. So it's not all going to be completely the same or whatever. And I kind of started that process when I put the rides in and created like the wavy paths and whatever. But like we've got that stream on one side. On the other side, we've got a lake, and there are going to be different features around different areas of the park doing different things. And yeah, I've got some other news about the underworld, but I'll save that till the end. I'll save that till the end, because I think you'll like that idea. I hope you're going to like that idea. Now, as you can see, like once you put that in, it like makes the area lighter, so that you can actually see the curved staircase in there, which I think works, you know, like better than having it too dark. So I'm going to put like foliage on the walls and whatever, but I'm still going to try and keep some of the white, just so that it kind of frames the staircase. And yeah, the wonderful job of messing around with all the terrain. I'm gonna have like probably quite a job just going around and sorting all the little bits of terrain out. But I did decide here that I was going to put some edging around using these stucco roofs, just because I think it looks better. And I don't know, I might square those paths up and have them going all the way around, and have the balcony rails all the way around. I don't know, we'll see. We'll kind of see how it goes. But I do like how the end result of these. I think it worked kind of well. Although when I put these in, I did realise I had to flip all the walls around, so you can see me reversing the walls so that the walls are in the right places. But like as a whole, the build is definitely heading like in the direction I want. Like each bit that I do, and I know that's probably some of you. I guess this is a build more for people who like the building, at least at the moment, because it's difficult to kind of do like specific bits and just like put a ride in and, you know, like kind of do it bit by bit. I need the whole setting really to be in place before I can actually start, you know, putting coasters in or whatever, because I need everything to be fixed in place, because otherwise I'm just going to be ripping bits of the coaster out, you know, as I develop bits, which kind of wouldn't work. So, you know, you guys got to be a little bit patient before we get to coaster time. But holy hell, when we do get to coaster time, oh, I think we could have some epic rides. Now, this, you remember I said we were going to have like a little drop here, and we were going to have some kind of waterfall thing. Well, I thought, you know, why don't we try and reuse this? I want to try and reuse bits where I can. And I think this ended up turning out like okay, because it's the same general idea of the water from one level being transferred down to the other level by little fountains or waterfalls or whatever. The thing with this one is, obviously the top is higher than the level above. But you'll see at the end. I started playing around with tidying it up, and I've got some ideas that I'll tell you about at the end when we go to the live action section. And if you've got any ideas, then please leave me a comment, because this is definitely work in progress. It's definitely, I'm open to suggestions. Let's put it that way. The one thing I do love as the park develops is kind of finishing little areas, you know, just like putting those little walls in and finishing off these little staircases and whatever. And as you finish each little bit and finish each little area, the place just looks that little bit more, I don't know, finished. Yeah. So, oh man, you know what? It's really funny. I love sitting and watching this now. I actually, it's kind of hard to do the commentary sometimes, because I kind of get absorbed, kind of watching it and thinking, oh, like what if I did that there, or what if I moved that, or what if I changed that bit? Now I'm just putting this one to go around the corner, which I think is nice, having it go around the corner. And then I thought, yeah, I've decided I like the foliage at the bottom, so the foliage goes in. I just think it stops it looking so stark around the base of those little pillars. Now I'm just sorting the terrain out on these corners, because I decided I wanted to bring the stairs out a little bit. But of course that means, oh yeah, another outside corner. And let me tell you, these outside corners, they are a bit fiddly. I've kind of got it down now. I know like the pattern. You put like one piece on one side, just as kind of like a marker, and then you position the other side of that corner in the correct place. Then you delete the first piece and put it back in the right position, and then you can do the step below with a little corner piece, and then you rinse and repeat the process for the rest of the corners. And like once you figure it out, it's not too bad, but it is kind of time consuming to do. But I just love the effect. Like, so there you go. That's the first piece in. Then you put the second piece in the correct position. Delete the first piece, position that correctly, and boom, then it's easy. But as much as they're a pain, they just look, I don't know what you think, guys, but I think they look so good. They're just so crisp and clean, and they just provide a nice framing to the whole building. And they kind of, I don't know, they work really nicely with the stone. It's a shame that they haven't got some more textures for this stuff, because it's kind of like a white marble, I suppose. Is but it would be really nice if you had like a proper white marble texture. And if you think about it, there wouldn't really be anything to stop them, you know, being able to... Somebody suggested this. I was reading this. Somebody suggested this, and I think it's a really good idea. Like, if you look at the menus with all the stuff that's in there, right? And they've got the same piece duplicated with multiple textures. Why not just have one piece and then select the texture that you want for it? Don't you think that's a good idea? I think that's a really, really good idea. Anyway, we are coming to the end of the time lapse now, so you're going to get a chance to see all of these lovely fountains and everything in normal speed. I'm just kind of doing a bit of last minute tidying up. Let's go back to live action. Wow, there we are. What do you think, guys? We getting somewhere? Look at this. We're going to go down and have a quick look around at some of the details and see it in like real speed, because I want to have a look at this. I'm sure you do. But one thing I wanted to show you, like before we even start, and I have done like a little bit of tidying up. I've kind of moved this stuff kind of out of the way more so that we can actually see what the hell we're doing. And I've been tidying some of the terrain up and stuff like that. But what I wanted to show you was, if you come down here to the entrance, so you think about you're entering the park, right? And oh, looking good, like the views. You can see this, like, you know, big imposing building, and you got the, oh my god, what the hell's that? And, oh, it's all going very well, right? And as we come in, right, and go over here, you can kind of instantly see that this trellis work stuff that I was playing around with blocks the view to, like, the main staircase and whatever, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, I really like this idea, and I'm sure we're going to use it somewhere, but here, no, it's blocking the view. It's like it's destroying the view. So we're just gonna get rid of that. Just gonna get rid of it right now. God, look how long it takes to edit the building. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, let's get all of that. Bye bye. Cool. Done. Come on, get out. God, it takes a long time. Alrighty, should we have a little look around? Let's have a little look around. Now these two rides, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to place those yet. They're going to be kind of somewhere in this front area, but whether they're going to be like over by the fountains or whether they're going to be closer in or what, I don't know. I don't know. It's got to evolve yet. And like these areas, I need to figure out exactly what we're going to do with these areas. And I have even thought about sinking these down a little bit and having them in sunken areas. There's also the carousel. Somebody asked me the question, can I put the carousel in? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I can definitely put the carousel in here. Just because it was an earlier version doesn't matter. I can still add that in. And I'm pretty damn sure that's going in because it's just so awesome. I must admit, I did think about putting some kind of circle in here and having the carousel, like, as long as it doesn't spoil the view, right? I would be really happy to have this as one of the first things people see when they walk in, right? Just because the music is going to set the tone of a fairground, you know? I mean, it just makes you think fairground, theme park. So there's a very good chance that may go. I don't know. It might, like, I may even plop it in somewhere around here, you know? I don't know. I don't know. No idea, but we'll see. But we've now got that view, and that's the view that I want. That, well, if I can avoid the bars, that's the view that I want up to this. And I love it. I love it. Right, before it gets too dark, right, let's go and have a look at a few things. So, let's go and have a look at one of these fountains. Oh, my Lord. It is kind of beautiful, isn't it? Seriously, don't you think? Oh, now we've got the sunset going on. It is very pretty. I'm really glad that I angled these. It works. I think it will look so much better than just having them going straight up. Oh, we're going to get to see it at night. But remember, there's only this little bit here. Just that little bit. Those two statues. That's the only bit that's properly lit. I've got to change all the lighting on all the rest of it. Because look at the difference. That bit looks great. The rest of it, yeah. Alright. What else? Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you this. Because when I was doing this, I've probably already told you this, but I was kind of winging it. But I really like the idea of putting one of these curved staircases in here. But this isn't finished yet. I've got to like take these this row of like stone bases across here, and then I've got to put, you know, foliage on the walls and all that kind of stuff. So this isn't dressed up yet, and it will be dressed up before the end. But loving that. This, by the way, now I started tidying this up a little bit. I'm thinking we're going to have, I don't know, some kind of vegetation on the top. But I did have a little play around. Let me show you this quickly. I did have a little play around with these tunnels. And I did think about having, like 2 deep, like 3 of these tunnels going through here. They actually look pretty nice if you put them in. And then have something on top that's going across and linking up with this, and maybe then links up to this top section. I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to play around with in R&D and kind of figure out. But, you know, at night time when everything, all the rides start lighting up and stuff. Where's the hammer ride? The hammer rides. The hammer swing. Love those. Love those lights going up the side. Just awesome. I think we're headed in the right direction. Next episode, we're going to be going back down to hell. And, okay, this is the idea that I've got. Right, I'm going to give you a bit of a kind of a sneak peek taster. What I'm thinking of in this area here and this area here is to have like a tunnel, like quite wide and quite formally like dressed with like white stone and whatever, but a tunnel going down into the ground on both sides here. And then it's going to slowly change from that like formally white stone looking nice into just like just a cave tunnel. And then I want it to come out onto like a platform which will be kind of sticking out, like halfway between the roof and the floor, to have this platform sticking out, right? And it'd be flat. It'd be like a flat platform, and have the forge ride on that, so that you can ride on the forge while you're kind of overlooking the whole hell mouth and looking over all of this. And the reason that I want to do that is because I don't want to have to go like down all the way to the bottom level, because it's too far to go down for people to walk and stuff. I just don't think that's practical. So I think a platform with that on, and dress it up and make it look nice and make it look, you know, kind of brutal. And looking out with all the effects going on and all the rest of it, I think that could be pretty nice. The only thing that's going to go right down to the floor level here is going to be a coaster. Oh yeah. Yeah. So there you go. That's where we're up to. Leave me comments, guys. I want to know what you think. Am I heading in the right direction? Is this going to be epic? Is it an epic waste of time? I have no idea. It's going to take a while, but I'll tell you now, I am actually seriously starting to think about trying to finish this and enter it into the competition, which closes on the 1st of July. That only gives me like 10 days to finish this. I don't know. What do you think? Should I enter it? Is it kind of too early to tell? But I think if we can finish dressing this up and get all the particle effects going, get some nice coasters and going around the place, I think it might be. You know, I don't think it'll win. I'm sure people will come up with freaking insane things, but it might be worth a look. What do you think? Alright guys, I will catch you for the next one. Peace out.